Hey guys, this is Mary Jane, and we are now in our part two for our first video of English words that are often confused. So let's move on to the next words. We have here agree with, agree to, and agree on. Something that we always need to remember is that if we're going to say agree with, we have to use this with someone. Example, I agree with Satyanani that a little progress each day adds up to big results. If we are going to say agree to, this has to be something, usually a plan or a scheme. Example, I should never have agreed to look after his stupid dog. Maybe that person isn't really an animal lover, or maybe that person is just too busy. Next, if we are going to say agree on, most of the time, this is a choice or result with other people. An example would be this sentence. This is a bit long, so we're going to try and use agree to and agree on. Example, Sheldon and Amy agreed to get married, but they couldn't agree on when or where, nor could they agree on whom to invite to their wedding. Our next set of words would be for alternate and alternative. Alternate can be used as a verb. This means that you're going to change first one, then the other, and then repeatedly, and then it becomes regularly. Example, many of us alternate between motivation and lethargy. So sometimes we feel motivated and then we become very lethargic or we don't want to move anymore. We feel restless or sleepy and then we become motivated again. And an alternate can also be used as an adjective. Example, I do shopping and housework on alternate weekends. So that means it's not every weekend, but it's an alternate weekend. Next, we have alternative as a noun. So it indicates a choice. Example, there are many alternatives for when we are overcome with lethargy. We could follow Satyanani's advice and try to make a little progress each day. Alternative can also be used as an adjective. Example, there are several alternative courses of action for when we lack motivation. There is no shortage of advice online. Or, people who want to escape the demands of modern life are often attracted to alternative lifestyles. Next, we have among and between. Both of them are prepositions, but they are often used in different ways. So, example, among is a preposition, but we have to use this with links of more than two. Example, I love wandering among the bookshelves in libraries. Reading takes me to another world where I'm always among friends. Now, if you're going to use between, you have to use this with only two links. Example, can you see Arrow the Peril? It's between two blue books. Between you and me, I don't think children read enough books nowadays. This is something that you have to note. Among and between must be followed by a plural noun or singular nouns, which can be replaced by a plural pronoun. An example, reading takes me to another world where I'm always among friends. So you can change that to among them. Or, can you see Arrow the Peril? It's between two blue books. We can change that one to between them. And lastly, between you and me, I don't think children read enough books nowadays. So we can change between you and me into between us. All right, so we need to be very careful. So here are some incorrect sentences. Example, I love wandering among each bookshelf in libraries. So each bookshelf is a single unit, so you cannot wander among one thing. Or, there is a famous quote between each chapter. Again, each chapter is a single unit, so quote cannot be between one thing. So you have to say there is a famous quote between the chapters. So it can be between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and so on. All right, next, we have here anticipate and expect. Anticipate is a verb. This means that you're going to be aware of something that has not happened yet, or believe will happen, or perhaps it will be an appropriate action. Example: I recently booked a highly recommended health retreat. Happily, they anticipated my every need. A good public speaker anticipates the mood and bias of the audience. However, expect is a little different. So this is still a verb, but this means you're going to think or assume or predict that something might or should happen. Example: we expect everyone to arrive before the soccer match starts. Your employer naturally expects you to start work on time. We should not expect something for nothing, but we all do and call it hope. We are down to our last set of words, so let's have approve. Approve means to give permission for or accept something. Example: at last, after 6 months, the council approved our plans to renovate our house. Your application for a Blue Card has been approved. It's very different from approve of. So, approve of is to view positively. Example: Juliet knew that her family would never approve of Romeo. It was much more difficult in Shakespeare's time for people to get married without the approval of their parents.